Okay, I said I'd get a door on, so I've done that, just so I could see if there's any point messing with the sill before it's welded at the bottom. But I don't think that there is. If we fit the door so the gap's even. Okay, so do that so it's even on the wing as well. The wing's just dropped in place and it's actually just comes in straight away. So we do have a good wing gap there. No more increase on that, that's the max. Wing can go forward if you have to, but they're all about, you all have that close. All Cortinas are always the closest point there. The wing just falls in position. I haven't even tried to line it up, actually literally just dropped the wing on. It's the first time I think I've ever dropped a wing on and it's just landed straight, because that's ready to go there, so there really isn't anything in it. Parallel down the bonnet edge, bonnet needs to come back, needs loosening off and bringing back. This gap's, I wouldn't like to go any bigger there, but there's no way that's going to go. We can't come up and close that up anymore, so that's a bit larger than I would have expected. I don't compare some average fits with that, and really know there's not much you can do. It's following through here, so that's how that is. That's right. Regarding the sill, just again parallel here, parallel along the roof line. The door isn't exactly lined up in terms of like closing and flush fit, a bit of curving at the bottom, but you can actually see it better on the camera than I can see. That's parallel as well. If you look at that line, the door itself actually waves up here, so the doors aren't the best. I don't know why that door's got a bend in there. I'm not going to use this door, by the way. It's a little bit too far gone. We've got better doors. So really adjusting the sill, there's nothing you could do. You couldn't bring it up anyway, because when I was setting it up, the bottom of the door, if you mess with the sill, you try and bring it, you actually, door is close on the sill anyway. There's nowhere it can go. If anything, it wants to go away from the door. But where it sits now is lining perfectly up. So really, I've answered my question that there's nothing you can do. That is the way that it is. That's the way that it is. That's a standard sill gap too. There has to be a standard sill gap there, simply for this, because you're governed by the relationship between the bottom of the door, that, and the outer lip of the sill. So that controls it. If you try and close your sill gap, so if you say you didn't like that much of a gap, which is about 5mm, and you wanted a 4mm gap, you start to encroach. The bottom of the door starts to encroach into the sill and touch it. This is scuffed where I've been bolting it up. You can see the door is pretty much cheddar cheese. So the question's been answered. It only leaves me with one situation, and that is that gap's bigger than I'd like, but the wing sits perfect. So it's a bit strange because everything's relative, and the scuttle couldn't have moved. In fact, I checked that distance there on the scuttle with the original one, and this one's a little bit larger, so even that I can't work out. I pointed out wrongly that this was a wing mirror. It's an aerial, it's a wing mirror fitting. It's been cleaned up. So overall I'm pleased with how it is. At least I can move on with the sills, and we're looking good. Oh, I did notice something at the end. Whether this was the accident, I don't know, but this wing starts to deviate in a little bit, and I've just tapped that to get it, to see what I've got to do. I reckon if I fit this rear wing, I may, to get a perfect gap, slit or find the best way that it's done. Obviously you can't do it on the rolled edge, and open that a little bit to get it really parallel, because it's starting to go down by about 1mm from the top, and if you corrected it so it was all parallel, you lose it on the roof. Now this is just standard, this is body shop type territory that we're entering into. So you can tweak, you can move, you can cut if you have to, and you could alter that wing to get it perfect if you wanted to go for that. And we'll look into it nearer the time, but the question was to see if there was any advantage fitting the door in terms of finally fixing the sill, and I don't think that there was. Any body shop people want to send out some feedback on that. Initially then everything lines up, so we can carry on fixing the sill. Take the door off and put it back. Here we go. Spot welds are in. I've saved you the grueling monotony of watching me spot weld, even though some people like that. Is that foghorn? Over here we go to recover brackets out of the floor. Spot weld drill. One was smacked through because it was that rotten. Poof, straight through, blew a hole through it. The others cut out, and then courtesy of Jerry Hart again, Jerry to the rescue with these super pads, the real deal ones this time, don't break, and we're able to use that nice wheel, grip this bolt in the vise, then with that wheel, makes mincemeat of it. You're getting your brackets cleaned up. We're going to dip these. Here's another one. Well, actually no, it's already been dipped. What am I on about? Right, we don't need to, we just need to rust proof them. They've already been in the tank. So this one to clean the face up, and then we'll treat these with some zinc paint and then weld through in the appropriate area, because we're going to be plug welding them once we've done the measurements on the floor, so we know where they fit exactly. One more to clean up. Okay, one there, and one there. Just placing them down. I will give them a total de-rust. Right, some of the dipping might not have got right to the back, you just don't know, but give them a de-rust, clean them up and prime them, and leave the area where the plugs are with weld through. We need to do, I think it's best to drill the holes in the floor pan, then put a bolt through and draw them up with a bolt. That's the best plan of attack, so really ignoring these for now. And just get the runners and measure across and make sure we got this, and then drill the holes. Now we'll make the hole in the floor pan a couple of mil bigger than the diameter of that. It just allows for a little bit of movement in the bolt. That's how they are. So I'm going to go and get some measuring devices now, see if we can work out exactly where these rails are going to fit. Floor pan, continuing on. Okay, to get this seat right, we're going to tech screw down the cross member. We know where it goes because we've got the exact ref point, so we just screw back through. You even get a pilot hole provided because we pilot drilled. We pilot drilled to get the spot welds out, so that's exactly the centre lines, which is great. So it's going to end up in the exact position that it should be. Indeed, if you follow it down, you can see all the index holes coming back into play, which means our seat position's correct. Sorry, the cross member's in position correct. Now, there's the seat mounting bracket, looking in big need of resto. We bolt that to the fixed in cross member, a couple more tech screws in the floor pan here. There's none marked here because new floor pan of course, but that should guide us there. And then what we can do, say 2 or 3 fixings in this. Let's do 4, 2 and 2. Then you can slot the seat into it. That's the height adjuster that you see there. That lever there, you pull up on that lever and it releases a little pawl. And that little bar, what would you call the name for that? It's like a snail cam, almost. That engages into a slot under the seat which adjusts the height. So you pull up and it rotates on that bar. The snail cam turns. Then there's 3 adjusting settings for the pawl to lock into. This bar pulls a little locking pin away. Anyway, that adjusts your leg room height. We slot the seat into that. It doesn't actually bolt into it, it just actually slots in. Only fixes on 2 bolts at the back. If you discount the 2 bolts that hold this height adjuster, so it locks, seat slots in. Once you do that, we can push back and forwards on the seat. I'm hoping by, oh no we can't because when we bolt it at the back, we just need to slot it into this fully square and then see where it lands at the back. We need to have the seat pushed forward to expose the actual locating holes. At the moment they're covered by the fact that the seat's reclined backwards. You have to pull the seat forward, which requires pulling this release handle. It's difficult when it's not bolted down because it tries to run off the rails unsquare, and one rail will try and jump ahead of the other rail, which is dangerous for what we're doing because we could have it offset and that wouldn't be right. We've got to make sure it's set up square. We have got numbers to reference back to when we measured the floor pan, so we'll do a combination of what the seat tells us and what the numbers say. I want to get this right because there'd be nothing worse than when the car's done and you come to rebuild it and you find that you've welded them plates underneath the car in the wrong position, and you'd have to drill through the captive bolt and then re-nut and bolt it, which wouldn't be the end of the world, but it'd be, you know, it's not ideal. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to set that up. A couple more tech screws. Magnetic bit holder helps with tech screws. Always use a magnetic one, makes life a lot easier. Only about £1.50. Again, Screwfix or Tool Stations always sorts you out. Tell you what, the dipping makes them threads really easy. Them bolts just went nice. They always seem too small ahead for this bracket, but that is what they use. Right, that is now fixed. You would be surprised what four tech screws can do. So we're fixed solid there. By the way, while I'm on, this welds to the inner sill, and it might be an idea just to slightly tension up the sills when we weld this together. I could put a ratchet strap round and just tension the sills into this bar, maybe just a millimetre. I think that it lies a little short, but I could be wrong. Just looking at the right angle there, and you get that mill by just pulling on a ratchet strap and just close the gap. Although we were a mill out on my measurement. What did I say? 64.6. I'm getting 64.4, 64.5. So you really wanted to go exact. You could jack strap it. That'll be because I have the sills off. In the past, I haven't done this on cars. I don't think you'd really make much difference at that level. But there's nothing to stop us when both sides are done actually jacking it into these two cross member bars and getting a bit of tension built in, so it's like taut and tight. Might be an idea. Once you get your welds on there, it'll never splay out because they form a square quadrant. If you look at your two cross members, that is the actual pan strength. If you remove these cross members, you can actually pull back on the pillars if you want. So what we do, we make sure when we put it all back together that we're getting exactly what we were left with. Because that structure hadn't been compromised, it hadn't separated, it was close. However, just to make sure, in case that much rot in the car, in case the car had distorted at all, I will take an average of other Cortinas. So I shall put a request out. If anyone's got a shell that's already stripped, you want to take sill lip to sill lip measurement. Bear in mind that it might vary along the length, so you'd have to tell me whereabouts you took it. I reckon the best place is across cross member to cross member, both sides. But I have got floor pans and all sorts of things. In fact, I've got one outside actually. To be fair, let's go out and have a look. Stay with me. I don't often do this. Let's go live. I don't often do this. It's a bit of a different thing for the video. Now there's going to be flex in it. There might not be. There you go. How about that? We've got ourselves a real deal measurement. I'll go and check it. Well, that was interesting. I've just done some measurements on that piece of 136. I get 136.5. But TC gets 140. Ruby gets 139. So there's like a whole difference. I don't know why that is. That's going to really annoy me. Why would you get it? And that also, they all change even on the B pillar measurements. I measured under the light fittings. This one's exactly the same, 139 from light fitting edge lip across on Ruby 139, on Bramble 139, on the sills 136.5 here, on the one outside 136, on Ruby I can't do it because the seats are in the way. Although I could, if I push the seat, I might do that. But it's just annoying. I like everything to be the same, and it's not. If I had to, I could move this in, but this might be right. So it's certainly not. All of the brackets all land about there. So I mean, maybe a mil, but it's not like ridiculous. So I don't know. It's very interesting. Okay, well there's another way you can do it, because I've still got the inner sill. If you land this on the original piece of metal I've cut off, it should give you the same distance at the back of this that it's got when it's on here, and if it is, then there's nothing you can do. It's exactly right. Okay, that's just a distraction. I've got to stop doing stuff like that. Right, back to this. Back to this. Suffice to say, it's all the same as other cars, so I'm not like, it's not, in other words, it's not warped or whatever. That's what I was trying to say. Right, back to this. Nearly done. That's freed up, by the way, so now you can get right through to mark and there, so we can place this in position now. So I'm going to put the seat in the car. Right, you've got to make sure. I'll take you under. Come on down with me. Let's have a play. I know you like to sometimes get right into the action. Look, you can see the height adjuster. That has to engage. This seat's got a slot into the height adjusting bracket. We need it to be slotted in fully on both sides. It just goes in like a little plastic guide as well. There's a liner in there so that it's not metal to metal. There's a plastic liner, and I've got to convince myself that we're fully engaged both sides, which looks like we are. And then probably can't do this with one hand. Oh yes I can. Bramble's seat hasn't even seized. Reveals this, and there's our proposed markings, landing just a little bit forward of where we would have been. Okay, and then here we landed on the star shape that I made. So I would have been close, but not close enough. See, off those markings wouldn't have worked. That one would have missed it. This one might have just done it, but this way, this technique, as long as the cross member goes back in this exact same position, I'll make sure that it will, because we'll now use the tech screw holes as our weld reference. That means that we can now mark those. This one you mark by going through the rail. That's how you get the bolts out. It's always a big puzzle. It's how you get them. I'm still never convinced how you do it, but you go through. That one we can mark. Let me just have a look. And you can get through, but you can't actually undo it. I can never remember. Oh no, I know what it is. You slide the seat backwards. Oh no, how the heck do you get to that? Because it exposes like an oval shape, which you can get the socket drive through. I always thought it was with the seat fully forward. Anyway, it doesn't really matter for now, because I can get the mark. So that's the seat positions. Sitting pretty much where you'd expect in those recess pads, or those impressions in the metal of the floor pan. So not a million miles off. A little bit out at the front. I don't know how much we would have been out by. 5 mil, maybe 10 mil out there. Okay, but I'll just double check that in case the seat's not engaged, so we'll keep checking before, because this one's has come in correct. Okay, that was the idea. Have to do it this way to get it right. Also, I forgot to tell you, there's a handbrake adjusting cable which I took off the floor pan as well. That goes where it's sat at the moment roughly. That's an easy one. That's non-critical line up, just the handbrake adjuster cable, the handbrake support cable bracket. Okay, leave me with it. I'm going to call it a day for this evening anyway. We'll see you for more filming for you. It's just a few seconds away. Okay, you're down here with me. I'm making sure that the locking mechanism is in the same amount of notches both sides, which means that the seat runners are running parallel, because you can have it kicked over where one click is out. You know, it's one click ahead or behind the other side, in which case the bar, if this lamp was the bar, it'd be twisted like that, which would give you a wrong seat reading. Okay, I've held the plate on with my hand underneath the floor pan, pushed the bolt through, and we now lock the bolts. We're not going to do them yet because they need a bit of rust proofing, but this is just a mock-up. Under you go. There's one bracket. I think it goes the other way around. No, it doesn't go that way around. Can't remember. I don't know if that's the right way. I'll have to look on another floor pan, in which case it's got to be bashed to fit the profile of the pan. And then this one, can't really see it, it's under there. Oh, you can now. That one's a bit better fit. I think that's the way it goes. It just needs this. It's slightly twisted actually. I've not put it in straight. I'm just mocking this up. We'll get that straight. Climbing up again in one continuous take. So I've got the seat tilted back. If I tilt it forward, this height adjuster lands back in them locating holes. Sorry, the strap's in the way, and then we're good to go. So check, measure, measure again, measure again, measure again, measure again. Okay, looking good. Right, we should be able to sit in the seat. I know there's only 4 tech screws holding us, but you'd be surprised how strong they are. So everything's in, and that's how it is. You can see the height adjuster a bit clearer now. If I was to pull the height adjuster lever, you see the locking pin. It isn't actually engaged, it's seized in an off position there. Surprised that rod even moves. Oh, is it on the last hole? No, it is, it's on the last height adjuster hole, sorry. You can see that the snail cam would rotate round and the pin locks back in. That's your height adjustment. This seat doesn't have the bed levers which the very early cars had, which is like an extra lever which makes the seat push virtually all the way under the dash. It's like an extra set of rails that it cantilevers off, and then you can put your seat virtually flat flush with the back seats. They call it the bed lever. It does have other names. Right, let's try and slide the seat with me sat. Here we go, ejector seat time. Join us, Cortina City. Jim. Whoa! Okay. It's like the ride of a roller coaster there. Rita. There's Rita at Blackpool. Whoa. Yeah. There we are. That's working exactly as it should. We'll not get a height adjust, I don't think. Nah, it seems solid that. There we have it, the end of another day. Now, I'll tell you one thing, I didn't think I'd be sitting in the car like this so soon. Wow, good. Right, I've got to get some rest, I've got to get some food. I'll see you tomorrow. A template, a continuation of the floor. We left you messing with the seat brackets, but it's time for some detail on this side. Ladle, template for your oval chassis run cutouts. 1, 2. Buckle my show. Where's the others? There's more. There's more. There's one over there. So this is just the easiest, quickest way to get your ovals. Simple. And then it's a hole cutter. The closest size I could get. This one I'm going to have to route out a little bit. checking a bit of hardware. Our floor bungs go in perfect, so that hole cutter, that 38mm is perfect for floor bungs. Put the rubber bit in first and push the cheese piece in, cheese board piece, whatever you call it. These ones, never really know what the factory used these for, but this is a clip off Bramble, and boom, we're in. So there's your ovals. We're all ovaled out, we're all ovaled up. These get the tar pads over them, so you never really see them, but we know they're there. It didn't take long to do. So detailing on the floor pan before we move across, we're now pre-drilling for the seatbelt mount points, and then we're going to pre-drill for the plug welds for these seat brackets over here, keeping you continuous. These just been in the dip. There's the handbrake adjuster cable, came out clean. This is our Foss Clean. Get that from Rust Buster, rust.co.uk. Seatbelt bracket, bolt, mounting bolt, a little bit just to, soon flashes over, look, it just wipes off, no problem. Then in the mix, hooking, we've got the front jacking point support plates that we've salvaged, and then the rest of the brackets for the seat mounting bolts, almost ready now to clean up, rust treat, weld through, prime and fit. I want them out of the way because otherwise they're going to be hanging around. These will go next. You'll jump straight to the welder. I'll bolt these up. Clean, prime and bolt up. Then weld, plug weld. Do me a favour, open the door and let them in. That's primed and ready. That's your seatbelt point. We mustn't also forget, while we're on the subject of cleaning up parts and using our little acid solution, and then our neutraliser and then our primer, the support bracket, which doesn't come with the inner sills but should be fitted. It's the jacking point support bracket. So we fit the jack into the car, then it makes so that it's a flush fit, and then these were actually welded on. They're actually spotted at the top. The job is doing his magnet trick again. Yeah, they were spotted at the top, welded on 2 tags at either side, but I'm going to run welding at the top. It's stronger that way, and I can't get a spot welder in anyhow. I don't want to plug it, I want to put the weld in at the top. Seam sealer goes round this, which will hide that weld, so that's the way I'm going to do it. We're also prepping the other brackets for the floor. We're nearly ready to start some plug welding now. Oh yeah, and this clip's gone in there, I think we showed you that. Okay, leave this with me, I should be right back with you. Would you believe that's how the factory did them? Blobs of weld on either side. Might keep that piece actually. Okay, so I left the jack in it just to make sure that it was going to work. Blob at either side, but I put the weld in at the top instead of the plug welds. I just prefer that. So that's it, 1, 2, 3 blobs of weld, and that's your jacking point. Wind out and we're good to go. So we know that works as it should. Keep the jack for the other side later on. Moving on to some more plates. Obviously paint this up. That'll get the seam sealed in later after the shot blasting operation, soda blast, because everything gets stripped back again. Okay, seatbelt. These brackets have had an additional FE123 on them, then a wipe down, and a final sand. The FE123 will sit in the pits of the metal, the pitted pieces, and then I run the sander across the face of that, then prime it up. They're nearly ready. There's also that bracket to do too. So, and also the handbrake adjusting bracket, again there's another one of them, we missed that one. Those two work as a pair. Forgot about that, I found it on a piece of metal there. That needs a little bit of a weld in it too. Got sliced that when I was taking the floor out. Close escape. Prep these, then drill the holes for the plug welds. Here's a tip for you if you're doing what I did, replace the whole floor, and you're putting back your brackets. I hope that you've managed to save them. If not, you could fabricate. They're not too difficult to shape. What I did, once I've got the seat in position and we found the correct holes for the runners of the seat, then lay the bracket over with your bolt hole lined up and spray over it with weld through primer, and that'll give you an area where you can now do your plug hole drills instead of guessing where you've got to do them because you can't see from the other side. It's one technique anyway. It gives us what you'd call a footprint. I didn't do it for the seatbelt buckle bolt because it was pretty straightforward there where it's going to go. These, you weren't quite sure the extent of the bracket area, so that'll give us the amount. 5 on that one, quite a few more on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 14 on that one. Okay, or is it 12 and 12 on each? Okay, so I'm going to drill a selection of plug holes using an 8mm drill bit. Then it's our friend the welder. Clamps on. Let's hope we can get a clamp to that far one. If not, we draw it up with the bolt anyway, but it's going to still have kick-ups on the edges of it. It needs clamping tight. We don't want that. We want it nice and tightly fitted. And we mustn't forget, when we do drill these plug holes out, to go underneath the car and file off the burrs, then to paint the other side of the shell of the floor, again with the weld through. We run out of pink. This stuff's okay, this U-Pol. Weld 2, zinc base, zinc rich, couple of coats. We've got some more pink on order. But you've got to get both sides primed because you're going to trap bare metal otherwise. So preparation, as Don Logan says. Preparation. Drill, under, bit of a limbo under the bar, we can do it, we limbo under that bar. And then we use a little power file to clean off the burrs, and then we're ready. We're almost done for these detailing area in the floor pan. Then we've got it all to do again, that side. Oh wow. Everything that we've learnt this side now copies across to that side. I'll probably won't film as much, just some overviews of us doing that side, because this side really explains both. There isn't anything different, it's pretty much symmetrical. I'd say virtually symmetrical. I'm trying to think on that side if there's anything non-symmetrical. The only thing I would say would be the exhaust hanger bracket, but that's further up, which is the only non-symmetrical item, I would have thought. Interesting one. Okay, off I take an egg and beat it. Right, we're nearly on. We ran out of battery power. We're back in the game. Keeping on drilling, keeping on getting ready for this job now for welding through. Take an egg and beat it. Run your primer on to these areas that we've drilled at the back. And we're ready to position the brackets now. A couple more to spray and we're done. A washer and a bolt to draw this in, and that'll take the plate. We'll go underneath and make sure it's looking parallel under the pan. I just duck my head under, you hang on there for me. Thanking you. Right, it's going to need a little bit of persuasion just to get the exact shape of the floor. We'll draw it in up to a point. That's drawn in. That gives us 2 plug welds. Here it's just a little bent. I say bent, it's just because it's, you know, a different floor pan. So we should be able to get some clamps in. They'll be the large ones. You're off screen as I get them. Coming into your view now. I'm hoping these clamps will fit. I don't know for sure if we'll get it what we need. Let's see. I might do. I might just get it. Is it on? I can't quite reach it because of the sill, so we'll have to think out of the box. Can we get through the floor? I wonder if we can get through the floor. Don't think we can. We need to find a way. I'll use the jack. I'll jack it into it. Okay, gonna line the jack. All we're trying to do is close the holes up. You can see sorry, the camera's wobbling. Right, you can see my dilemma there. I just want the jack's not far away actually. It's just, again, off your screen, but I'll have a little chat to you as we get the jack ready, keeping my voice up, because I know you lose the microphone amplification when I walk away. I could do one of the little radio mics. Anyone suggest where to get one? A good one that's going to work. Right, here we go. I'm going to jack that plate. I've got it lined up on a block of wood and the jack. Block of wood just to cushion it. Boom. Boom. I don't think you're going to get any tighter than that. That's nice. Look at that. Alright. Let's party. Let's get the cabin boogie. Right, welder into that while it's all lined up. Here we go. So you learn as you go. This is what I think they mean by cold welds. So I really do appreciate the welders who've helped me with this. Now I understand what you mean. A cold weld starts to stack up on itself. It's not hot enough to form a puddle. It's like melting ice cream. If that was frozen ice cream, it stays sort of in the shape, it starts to melt. It goes flatter, of course. So if we get the temperature higher, you get a weld like that one, which I would say, tell me if I'm wrong, that's a bit better than that first one. Okay, so a hotter weld makes more of a nice puddle, and it does look a hell of a lot better, and I think that's what the guys are talking about, these cold welds. So now we've learned something great. Now all we need to do is make sure we do that in the future. These still work, they still grip, but not as good as them. Alright? And the good thing is, wherever most of the panel work spots, if we think that we can go over any of our welds, especially in the structural areas, the paint won't be on there because it's getting blasted again. So we can always have a look and just make sure, and we can always reinforce and go over some of our stuff if we wanted to. But I think that's what they're talking about, that. Okay, first bracket on. one closes up a lot better. I'm gonna go under and just make sure it's parallel. It's okay. Three on the edge are alright. It's going to need a bit of a jacking in the middle, so again we'll get the jack and we'll do that now. Right, they're getting better welds. Like them. Just carry on with the rest of them then. I'll save you that filming bit now. Seatbelt, handbrake and handbrake cable brackets. Here we go. Well, here we are, ready to start the other floor pan. I told you it had to be done. So we mark out with the yellow and getting ready for a lot of drilling. All the way up there. Cross member out, just these tech screws, and cross member out. Take all those spot welds out, then slice it. Overlay the new pan. Do our cut line like we did. If you're not familiar, scroll back an episode or two and you'll see the floor pan on this side going in, driver's side or offside. I shall get the drill ready and fire on. Right, stage one. That's stage one. What's left of that? We'll need another one of these. I think I have one, so we will have to go into stores and strip one. Wow, look at that. Whoa. Goodbye, floor. That certainly is nibbled. Okay, so now a long run down the chassis. That took a good 20 minutes to get that out. I mean, I could have just gone from the tunnel and left it attached, but I like to remove the pieces. So we're going to dissect in the same principle. We've got a nice new cutting oil. It doesn't burn like WD. You can use WD, it's better than nothing. But this cutting and tapping fluid, the CT90, put some in the cap of it and then keep dipping the drill bit in. Hole cutter, and it's still sharp, and it helps, really does. So we shall pilot first as always, and then you'll cut to this being virtually out. Here we go. Right, you might have noticed that I used the crocky sander on the where I drilled the pilot holes in that floor run just then. That just gets rid of about half the metal, so it saves on the drill bit. So you can do that if you're throwing the panel that you're getting out away. So crock sander through half the thickness of the metal. Then when the hole saw comes in, it's not doing as much work, so it saves wear and tear on those expensive hole cutters. Alright, so now we're going to get the slip disc and slice just along a small piece first, because we want to drop the floor in for the actual cuts. So I'll just take out where the spot welds are as a section, and then we'll get on and drop the pan in. Here we go. Much the same as the other side. Okay, oh, I can hear myself with the ear defenders on. You know what we need to do now? We need to have a look at this chassis. I can see it, you can't. I'm going to bring it over. To see if we needed to replace it or not. By the look of the smile on my face, I think you know the answer's going to be. Come and have a see. I think we'll let Henry tell us the lay of the land. Whoops, sorry, a bit quick. Henry, do your funky stuff, Henry. Do your funky stuff. Now then, who'd have thought that Bramble would get away with keeping one of her original chassis legs? Nothing wrong with that. Not even lost it where we join at the end. That one, obviously that fork is well gone, but I knew that. So we're going to get a new one, or we'll repair it, but we'll see what's out there. It's possible to repair. Just loads of little bits of metal work. Take it off, of course, repair it and put it back on. Right, that piece of the floor's out. What I can do now is lay the new pan in and get my cut lines, same as I did. So, but before I do that, I shall clean up the remnants of the floor edge here. It needs taking off now. We'll do that. It's time for the flat disc on the angle grinder for this. Plenty of ear and eye protection going on. Okay, come on in. Come on in. Let's see how we're looking. Cleaned up the nibs off the rail. We're now ready to place the pan in its first fix and trial and get some markings on to get the cut. So chassis rail all in good order, great news. Floor pan going in. Okay, there's a little kink at the end of the sill, at the end of the floor pan, sort of bent over, it won't slot in yet. We'll get the pliers, straighten that edge, and then we'll push it in underneath the lower bulkhead lip. Pan is clipped to the sill edge with some clamps on the outside, and now I'm just sizing it up to draw my first oversized cut line. I'm going to mark with the marker here a line around it, which we'll ignore just for now. We cut just an inch below that line, making sure we don't hit any brackets. We've got to watch out for brackets underneath the car, the handbrake bracket, seat belt brackets, seat mount brackets. Just make sure the cut doesn't go through those. We look for spot welds on this side and go underneath. But I'll just scribe round with this and then pull the floor out again, then cut, because at the moment it doesn't sit right because it's landed on too much original metal. The metal's still coming back there. I only took a small piece of floor out. So now we get even more floor out, so we wanted to look at this following the sill edge and landing nicely on the chassis leg. So it's all the faces of the pan are resting on the chassis contour, and then we can tech screw the edge all the way round and then spray on with the weld through primer to give us a shadow, imprint, footprint, or if you will, and that's the cut line. Okay, I shall do that. Off I go, pull the pan out again and cut out the rest of the floor. Just an inch under the line we're about to, something like this. Okay. Might help if the pen didn't fail. Okay, we are tech screwed in and following a tight line all the way round, same as we did on the other side. So now it's the weld through. Again, just to remind you, the reason we put weld through on to mark the edge is so that when the welder is on it, we're not getting remnants of paint burning off. Keeping the can perpendicular at right angle to the face so that you don't spray down, although all the edges are pretty much close. There's a little bit there, I'm going to tap that in. But we're done really, we're close to the edge. It's very snug, pretty good copy panel, I would say. Give them good copy. Pressings are a little weak, but you can make them look smart if you look what we've done there. Okay, and we're just got enough in at the front. We've got the right amount at the back. So both in at the same, both pans in at the same level. You can't really go any further back because of there on that wheel tub. That sets the limit. So that's it. It's time to put the spray on. And then take it out again, then start the cut, then put it in again. But we have to prepare the chassis before we put this one in. And prep the inside of the floor pan, so it can't go in without a little bit of work on its faces and stuff, because it's going to get welded onto this chassis. So we need to prepare the chassis next. Once we've done this cut, we'll do the cut, then put the pan back in, check the cut, then take it out, then do the prep work, ready for final fit. Here we go for U-Part weld on floor pan rebuild near side. Okay guys, we are separating the chassis from the chassis fork there. Reason for that is once this is attached to the floor, we won't be able to get access to get these off as easy and put and withdraw this. It's easy to have this already separated, otherwise you're into drilling from underneath and trying to separate it out. So we separate and reconnect everything up. I'm sat on the jack, just under, hold on, the straps in the way. I'm on the jack which is holding the chassis up, keeping me straight. So we're just using the croc sander, power croc sander to eat away at all that rubbish, because you couldn't see the spot welds are that badly corroded, and now they've gone belt and braces and it's also welded at the side, so we now have to eat away at the side of it till it separates. So that's what I'm doing, so I don't have to get to it, so I can get to it easy now rather than later on, and then we can get about putting the floor pan actually in. Okay, mask is on, ear defenders are on. Continue with the croc sander now. Power file. Okay, let's get in and see how that fitted. They're all trimmed and it just drops straight into place. So we're done for today. We'll catch you in either the next episode, in which case I thank you, or I might see you quickly tomorrow. But if not, this is the end of this side. We'll see where we're up to on the films. Thanks anyway for watching and the subs. Well, we may just see you in a few minutes. I don't know where we're up to, as I say, with the movies. But floor pan goes in and the edge is good, guys, girls in YouTube land and Patreon land, look, no problem. So that cutting system is tried and tested and it works. Great, so we just got to get the butt weld clamps in. Sounds rude, I know, but that's what they're called. Great, well I'm going to quit while I'm ahead today and celebrate that with a Peroni now. Over and out. Signing off for tonight. Tea time. So here we are at the end of another Cortina City day. Let me get myself comfortable in my new chair. Recline. Yeah. Oh, recline. No, that's seized up. Oh, well, never mind. It was ambitious of me. Ooh. Now, the end of a day and a Bundaberg. Root beer. At last any root beer that was. Non-alcoholic. Yeah, I'm going to wind it down. I can put the feet on my dash, it's not a problem. Just taking the easy radio off and then the day just... I don't know what it does, the day doesn't have two hands that go down like that. No, just winding down, looking at... Oh my god, this roof's bad. I have to do that next. Yeah, at high speed it would just go up like a sardine tin. There's nothing holding that on the front there. It's about the last, well, until you get to the back. It's the last of the really pickled metal at the front. What a trip in a short space of time. I do like these little YouTube chats when it all goes quiet. I hope you're all cosy out there. Actually, it's got dazzled by the LED lamp. I'll have to do a retake on that, I think. Oh, it might be one for the end of the film. Cool. I'll see you tomorrow. Over now. Yeah. So we're fully working. 4 tech screws holding us down. If we have just a light 10 mile an hour impact, oomph, it'll just tear me out the floor pan and send me through the window. No seat belts. This is a time when you imagine the car done. Yeah. Oh. Clouds over my head now. Little birds tweeting. Yeah, just think Autobahn, M6, M1, M6 actually is loads of roadworks. M6 North, get past Preston, open road, Scotland, Glencoe, West Coast, Golden Beaches, few blue waters, no people, Cornwall, North France, through France, Italy, Cortina in Italy. Yeah. Just, if I had a steering wheel, it's good that you can get to this position and like all your spot welds don't start pinging. I mean, I'm giving it a bit of stick. Because I hear it start going ding, 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 boom, ding, 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 boom. And my spot welds have failed. Or my welds haven't penetrated. Silence, quiet, no power tools, I just wish now there was some skylarks singing. I could have a little nap. I probably will have a sleep now. Not here, not in the car. But I'm going to say it's the end of episode 12. Thanks for the comments, thanks for watching, thanks for the subscribe. It's really good. YouTube's busy and the project's going well. Not too much waffle, plenty of action for you on this episode, loads going on. Measure, measure, measure again, this episode should be called, I suppose. So, it's time for me to relax, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'm going to sign off. Now that we've got this seat out of the way, we're done. See you in episode 14, because we missed one, that's why 11 had 2. Okay, I'm off, see you later. After a hard day's welding, I like to relax with a Centauri beer and a Practical Car magazine. And of course, oh, I've not even read this.
You bloody Wally.
Try